we doing, boys and girls? Good evening. Good evening, good evenings. Oh, doing more stupid engineering shuffles. But considering considering just how much busy work our Draenor auction house is just broken, can't buy or sell shit. Well, this is a little bit of a concern of mine. If it does completely fall flat and it's us, I've got plenty of stuff to do that doesn't involve the auction house. Still need to lore master the zones. I've got loads of rares to kill. I've got materials on hand, I think, for the most part of a couple of engineering shuffles. Okay. See what happens. Can't even see my sales. It's in. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating, isn't it? Wish they could get the auction. This is not even a not even an uncommon thing. It break every time we have a major content patch. Running out of recipes to learn on this. Recipes that I care about. That's not too. Fuse box, safety switches. Yeah, I do need some more. Jewel box, safety switches. These embellishments are not cheap. And these are not cheap, but I have found a few chaos circuits on the end of the world. Post August 25th that they did, and it started to come back though. It's a server load thing. That's literally all. I suspect they should probably got something to do with sharding, right? They probably have to like phase up multiple versions, run up multiple versions of Dornogal. I haven't decided how I want to say it. Maybe they just don't ramp up fast enough. But I hope people sort of start to understand. This is why they didn't want every man and their dog having a longboy. Every time you spring up a longboy, it has to load the whole auction house and start loading up auction house zones that aren't meant to have them. Problems. One, 5, 9. Hello.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit
Smooth,
together.
my man. Thank you very much for the gifties. Thank you. Thornton's still sitting firm at the top of the tree today. He was clever. He gifted
Let's
5
make
subs.
sweet, sweet profit together.
Man. But any DB query. It's insane. Yeah, they're probably a little bit wild, aren't they? How many times I can scour through the same scrap to get more? 2 can't beat 5. Always thinking. Always thinking. Big brain plays. Scrap. Who leaves 10 Thorin widgets lying about? Who did that? I gotta get rid of in Cerebon bolts, you know. It's slow, but I gotta get rid of them. That'll sell them. That'll just sell them back. They're actually, well, TSM's also completely befuckled. Technical terms. DSM's not updated, which I presume is probably because the Blizzard API just dead as well. The auction house. When the auction house is this crunch, they just turn the API off. It's clearly 5% of the total load that they just turn off. There he is. Welcome in, gumdrops. Shit's fucked. Yeah. Mic volume seems low compared to the music. I did move the mic slightly further away. And the tune's down a touch. Some fool is putting his craft results in general chat. Really? Dalaran chat is just ghost iron bar being crafted. Words cut off every now and then. Yeah, my noise gate is, it's 1 or 2 dBs off. I need to have a bit of a play with it and fix it. I'm trying desperately to make sure that it cuts out all of the like random gulps and slurps and coughs and splutters and that sort of stuff. Alternatively, would just upgrade my mic. Anybody in NA finding ways to get more Artisan after reset? Oh, once we get the weekly stuff, it's gonna flood in. Honestly, once you get access to weekly stuff, it's just whoosh. Mostly because you can then cycle through the professions and do all of the weekly shit on all of the professions. If you think people are getting a head start with Artisan's acuity this week, after reset, once the weekly stuff comes in, it's going to be flying. Genuinely, it'll be flying. If people haven't got their 3 blue tools by the end of this week, they absolutely will by the end of next week.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Weekly crafts and work orders are up as well. Yeah, there's so many different little things that people will have to get into the routine of doing. Let's say there's somewhere in the region of about 15 knowledge points available. So there's about 75 artisan acuity available just from weekly activities for each profession. You can quite easily cycle through a bunch of professions doing the weekly things. Because let's not forget, you can still falsify work orders with your olds. You don't technically need to use patron orders. The weekly quest is just for crafting orders. It's not specifically for patron orders. So there's you can still cheese it with your alts if your patron orders are not as lucrative as they sort of. No turn-ins. Not for most professions. No crafting based turn-ins. They've moved those to patron orders, apparently. Gumdrops though, thank you very much for the gifted. I appreciate it. Thank you. Do pilfer results have any relation with stats or skill? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. When you're pilfering, it's basically based upon... Parts have, like, tiers. And tiers, the higher the tier of the part... These are hidden tiers, though, by the way. But the higher the tier, the part, the more they scrap into. It's somewhat related to the amount of materials that goes into them. This is why things like bolts... Ceravite bolts are only ever going to give you 1 scrap a piece because they're, you know, basic materials, not many of them. But let's say, for example, later on in the expansion, when all the materials are flooded and things are way more readily available, your chaos circuits, for example, are absolutely incredible for pilfering. Yet your handful of bismuth bolts are trashed here. So, you know, it's the part that makes more of a difference than any sort of skill or spec points or anything along those lines. Add it to the mic fund. Thanks. See, if I make it big time, I'll have to get the big time mic, won't I? That's the thing. You got to get the Shure SM7B when you make it big time. I've got the baby one right now. The MV7, the baby one. Actually, I've heard of a bit of a life hack that if you take, sorry, this is going to give you some AMR shit right now. You ready for this? Ooh, AMS. Ooh, like that. Ooh. Anyway, you take this thing and you take the SM7B version, put it on my mic. It apparently sounds like nearly exactly the same. Not clipping that. Concealed chaos module, is that the expensive one? Can't remember which ones are the good ones and which ones are not. This healing one uses like 600 potions, so fuck that business. Crowd pummeler we definitely don't want. Rocket grenades? That's got to be a good one. How far off are we? How far off are we? Energy redistribution beacon, 1. Cogwheels are spec trees. These you can't learn. We still have... That's a recipe from a thing, and these are rares. Oh, we've only got 1 left. The rest of these are... Heart-seeking health injector. This is the one we're never going to craft because it uses 600 potions. Yeah, screw that business. And using 600 potions. Okay, there's only 1 more I need then. 1 more. What was it? Energy redistribution beacon. Energy redistribute beacon. 1 prototype. 2 more prototypes. Might need 2 to get single hastily scroll doodahs. Hey, there we go. Right, break them down. 8! We'll take 8. Welcome in, Zan. How are you doing? Well, you know, the game's new. It's addictive, isn't it? Energy redistribution beacon. That's the one I wanted, right? Here we go. Everything, then. Now we just got to craft everything. Now the fun begins. Now the fun begins. This is where we use Craft Sim to our advantage. We do smart things with Craft Sim. Ready for this, boys and girls? We go... how do we do this? We go. Was it rest? Shit. What? How did I do this earlier? Craft queue maybe? Craft queue. Add first. You can't see it. It's behind the camera. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Add first crafts. Ignoring acuity recipes. Bosh. Right. See that? Magic. Magic. Then filter out all the shit that's way too expensive for us to not actually care about. So you, filmless camera, get out of here. Escape pod, get out of here. Wormhole, get out of here. Earthen delivery drill, get out of here. Barrel of fireworks, get out of here. 60k. More respectable number. Much more respectable number. Not sure I entirely... did I see an 8k there? Do I want to spend 8k? 8k on 5 artisan security. Sure, why not? Then we create an auctionator shopping list. Boom. Oh well, that's not going to work until we go to the auction house. Now we run to the auction house. Loving the US afternoon streams, Jeff, or Me's grind, whichever you would prefer. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I don't do enough for Team NA streams.
My directive is to serve you.
Then we go create auctionator shopping list, and we pray to RNGesus that the auction house works. It could entirely just be cooked. That's Mr. Jeff to you. I stand corrected. Are we going to assume it's straight cooked? Shit, is this the right one? I don't even know if that's the right one. Stop! Try again. Tempered potions. Desperate to know how much acuity we get next week. Acuity is not strictly capped like knowledge is. Due to the fact that knowledge is tied directly to your profession, to the individual profession, whereas artisan's acuity is not. Any artisan's acuity from any source is cash money. So artisan's acuity is not capped in the same way. That's why players are doing silly things like rotating through professions to farm as much of it as they can get their hands on, because sooner you can get your, I don't know, 2,000-ish you need roughly for each profession. Soon as you've got that, you can sign it off, put a tick by it, not have to worry about it. That'll be your profession tools, that'll be your one-time knowledge, and then you're at the point where that profession is like simple. Each week you log on, do your weekly stuff, you're good, right? There's no chores, there's no tasks. And more importantly, you're front-loading an awful lot of the effort to the beginning of the expansion, when everything's fun, everything's new, everything's exciting. More than anything, everything is theoretically profitable. I say theoretically because it's not an exact science. But if you are just rolling with single professions, you're likely to have access to somewhere between 12 to 15 knowledge points tomorrow from sort of like weekly activities. those 12 to 15 knowledge points, when converted to knowledge, will also give you 5 artisans each. So 60 to 75-ish artisans acuity. It's going to take the average player, or the regular players, somewhere in the region of about 3 weeks, I would say, to get enough artisan acuity to make a piece of rare profession tools. Unless that is patron orders are, you know, making it rain. If patron orders are absolutely splashing the cash, then you might see a little bit more. Don't particularly want to spend 100k per 5 acuity if the weekly reset won't give me enough, you know? Yeah, I understand. I understand. I sort of said before the expansion went live that I will play with this a little bit. Use my past experience with professions, my ability to designate a lot of time to it, and the luxurious position of having enough gold to waste. I said I would, you know, give it a little bit of a go, showcase what it's all about. So, and you know, so if it works, I can make lots of gold and it'll be wonderful content. If it fails, I waste millions of gold, it'll be wonderful content. So you guys choose to do the same. Tread with ease. Expensive. I don't think they've got the NPC work orders active over on NA. I don't see them. Well, you do need a certain skill in your professions. It's not been like categorized perfectly for every profession, but most professions need at least sort of 60 skill before you start seeing patron orders. I think what Blizzard has probably just tried to have it so is that you don't get patron orders whilst you're leveling your profession with trainer recipes. As soon as you kind of run out of trainer recipes, then patron orders kick in, so that you at least have something that is in theory meant to help you get those last. That's how I kind of would have envisioned it. Whether it is actually the case or not. Ooh, the price on the bicycle hoovered up all of the gyrating gears. Oh.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Those are gears. Esther, thank you very much for the 2 gifties. I'm making bank off your household today.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Gumdrop's gifted 5, just saying. I'm joking, he didn't. Whoa, step. He didn't. You're all right. Don't worry, Mr. Norton. Your throne is safe. Literally just need 1 gem. Sure. 124 handfuls of bismuth bolts. Yeah. Isn't going to be cheap, is it? Ouch. Is it possible to complete the weekly by putting in an order to myself? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it counts any crafting order. So if your patron orders are either not possible or you don't have the recipes, or they're super duper mega expensive, just put in a cheapo order to yourself or something really cheap. You know, a basic profession tool or something. Don't fall into the trap that many others will, of like hardcore trying to get every patron order and then having to throw the kitchen sink at quality 3 materials or anything like that. Done the profession flip on that character and now have 600 artisans on it, but I don't know how to use it. I'm surprised you were so willing to spend so much gold on something without an understanding of where your end result is. But without knowing what your profession is, you have to make cauldrons for the guild. Will I be able to do that before the raid comes out? Your cauldrons are also going to consume a huge amount of your artisan's acuity, by the way. I would advise anybody out there that's a guild or a guild leader, you can't have a dude that's responsible for your cauldrons. One dude is unlikely to be able to bring the cauldron. Each craft takes 60 artisan acuity. You are going to need to delegate it to a handful of people. Or everybody needs to bring their own. It won't be a problem it won't be a problem so much in season 2. But for season 1, artisan's acurity's got far better places to be spent than making cauldrons, unfortunately.
My directive has been fulfilled.
Buying those materials on any other day of the week would have taken 30 seconds. Today it took about 4 hours, but it worked. The irony is that Auctionator's shopping scan seems to be significantly more reliable than Blizzard's default, which is amusing to me. Now, the question is did we actually have enough stuff to craft one of everything? Crafting cost is 60k with a total profit of minus 42. I love that. First craft, yes please. I need this number to reach 600 plus. Did the flip with alchemy. Well, if you're also designated cauldron dude, you kind of need to go either potions or flasks. Whichever one you go, your the irony is alchemy is one of the professions where doing the shuffle is not as important. Mostly because it's going to take you so goddamn long to get enough knowledge points. You can slowly chip away at artisan's acuity a lot more comfortably. The professions where it's more important to be doing the shuffle and doing it quickly are the professions that have lower knowledge point requirements to like cap out their skill. If your chosen skill path needs like 50, 60, 70 knowledge points, you can practically get that in the first week or so. Meaning you kind of have to rush to get your artisan's acuity. Flasks, and more so potions, have a much higher total knowledge point requirement. So you have more time to get that artisan's acuity, and in turn you're not quite as rushed. In theory, yes, anything you do now is an advantage that you have now, and you can take advantage of that advantage for longer. but your foot doesn't need to be so hard on the pedal with some of the professions and some of the deeper specs. Chat's done a good video on the shuffle. Yeah, the what do you call it? The inscription and the enchanting are sort of like the mini shuffles. They're the quick and easy ones, or relatively quick and easy ones. Your engineering and your alchemy are much deeper, and it's already happened in Team NA, but as of tomorrow for Team EU, when the weekly stuff becomes available, you're kind of theoretically able to shuffle all of the professions at that point to churn through the weekly stuff rather than first time crafts, which is what we're doing with the professions this week. The TSM groups and stuff are not available yet, no. I'm not putting any form of timeline on those. I like to make sure that when I release something like that, it's good. The downside of me making sure that it's quality when it comes out is that it sometimes takes a bit longer to. So I'm not, unfortunately, putting a timeline on. Coming soon is quote. You think we can do the weeklies for every single profession? Assume they'd cap it at 2 weeklies total. Well, even if they cap the quests to like 2 weekly quests, that still doesn't mean that that's the only source of. That's not your only source of knowledge points. You know, they could limit it to just 2 quests, sure, but there's still the gathering knowledge point gains by drops. There is still the treasures out there. You know, there's multiple sources. It clearly didn't buy all the materials, did it? What are we missing? Oh no, we're missing scrap. I did this last time. Get it done quickly. I didn't realise it's actually scrap that I'm on. Wait, there are treasures out there that give acuity. Not. So they're not regular, like one-time treasures. There's the 8 one-time treasures, and you're right. No, they don't give acuity. But there are 2 knowledge point items you can obtain every week on every profession via opening treasure chests. So you're like dirt piles and yeah, the weekly loot one. Some professions give 2 knowledge points from those. Some professions give 4. I don't know why there's a difference between them, but it's 2 individual items each profession. Got to be enough. Make sure. The exact numbers are different for every profession. Some professions give you slightly more via treasures, some professions slightly more from the weekly work order quests. It all balances out to roughly 12 to 15 knowledge points per profession per week. Not that dissimilar to what we had in Dragonflight. The only difference this time is that you can't fall back on dragon shards as a bonus perma-farm. List anywhere. Well, all of this is completely 100% documented in my guide. and has been for weeks. I'm sure there's many other free resources out there, but found a method to make 90k an hour seems high at the moment. Should I stick to it? Yes. If you have found a golden goose, let it lay. Yes. I found this winning lottery ticket. Do you think I should cash it in? Yes. Right. The only things it's not crafted is the big gold chaos circuits ones, because these are stupid expensive. All of these, because these also take a bunch of... Why did we not craft that one? Oh, it's expensive because it's flipping hundreds of bolts. Okay. Right, that's put us at 665. $665 is enough for 2 tools. 2 tools, a knowledge point, 2 tools and a renown book. I don't think I'm going to get the renown book anytime soon though. 10 knowledge points. Okay. That probably didn't cost me more. Okay. Jewelcrafting is looking in good shape. I also haven't chose a spec direction with Jewelcrafting yet. I'm kind of doing the work, but I'm leaving my Jewelcrafting open. It does mean I'm not good at doing anything right now, even though I have maxed out the skill. But I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with... well, let me put it this way. In Dragonflight, a lot of people spec'd into gems, and then the Elemental Lariat happened. So I'm deliberately holding back on spending any knowledge points until, and also hence why I haven't actually been harvesting first time craft bonuses on Jewelcrafting even yet. All of these are trainer recipes anyway, so they don't give me Artisan security. Sure, they give me knowledge points, but I'm not spending my knowledge points. Bank all of them now. On myself, I wouldn't be doing it, but I've already spent my points in a min-trade chat looking for work orders. Well, your position's slightly different, because if I remember, you said you're going on holiday, so make your cash monies now. Has anybody seen any seed raids? I haven't seen many, publicly anyway, I've not seen many people, like, devote their time to proper, regular farming. You know, 2x4 farming is always popular at the beginning until Blizzard turns around and nerfs all of the 2x4 farms, or inevitably the price of cloth and the price of the loot that you get by the 2x4 farms is just nuked into the floor. Once they've burnt out 2x4 farms, then they tend to switch over to gathering a little bit more, or equally then the crafting. But it means I've not seen too many people publicly doing herbing and mining. It's kind of deja vu a little bit, because it's the same scenario. Feels like the same scenario to me as back in Dragonflight, where there wasn't much public farming going on. And so it wasn't as well documented that these guys were making 150k an hour and making out like absolute bandits. Which if we get a run on quality 3 materials in a week or two's time, they will be making out like bandits once again. It's the only thing that's tempting me very heavily into setting up a farming character, or even 2, technically. Same logic applies, that you could do mini shuffles, get your tools, and maybe even more importantly, your because your tools for gathering are not as important. Your artisan's acuity is your knowledge points are probably more important for professions. With the crafting gathering professions. Brain, I've played this game too much. Oh, you've done a mini shuffle on your gatherers too now. See. So, because for example, with gathering, you're not really hitting a threshold where you need all of your tools in order to do something. Just more skill and more perception and more finesse. More is just more with gathering. Your tools are less important, but the Artisan's Acuity knowledge books, which is an 45 knowledge points, is, I think, substantially more valuable to you, gathering, to keep you, you know, if everybody's doing 20k an hour, you might be doing 30, 40k an hour sort of thing. But of course, if you don't do it, you don't get paid. I'm enjoying the solo farming herb and all right now. It's fantastic, but look at the price of stuff though. It's incredibly good business right now. Look at the price of quality 1 stuff. If you can even see it on the auction house, the price of even quality 1 stuff is outrageous.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
We go, this is Jewelcrafting, bismuth. Bismuth quality 1 ore, still like 50k, 50 gold a piece. When you get rid of the bait, it's 42 gold a piece for bismuth, which is wild. Can you imagine if quality 1 ceravite ore was 40 gold a piece? People get blinded by the potential millions to be made in other places. But hop on a druid, go out and gather some shit. Job done. If you really don't want to be dealing with any of this crafting malarkey, the barrier to entry to crafting this expansion is quite harsh. You can take the super duper mega simple route and just do the bare minimum and use concentration and make 1 or 2 things a day. You can take that bare minimum approach, or you can do the sweaty goblin approach, and the barrier to entry to that is pretty goddamn high. Ceravite's going to be 40 gold a piece at the rate that people are grabbing up the bolts. It was up to 10 gold each yesterday. Oh god, all the bots are just going to live out in the wrong expansion because it's the most lucrative and there's no competition. I need your help. Put all my knowledge into tailoring into Duskweave. With 1 blue tool, I can barely craft rank 3s. That's fine. However, the price for rank 3 Duskweave is 60% under your material costs. Any idea why that might be the case? Because as it stands at the moment, there's an awful lot of farming tailors out there, and most of them are spec'd in that same way to get Duskweave and Dawnweave, and they're acquiring the cloth significantly faster than anybody can do anything with it. So they're basically giving it away just to get some gold for it now. Have you got the epic part from the mount by salvaging yet, or was the only source purchasing? No, while I haven't, you can get it by pilfering, yes. Does Duskweave rank 3 drop? Yes. Yeah, if you put enough points in, yes. Or are you talking about the bolts? I'm pretty sure the bolts can drop as well. I've not done any of the farming business though. Don't 100% quote that. Is there a difference between the 3 severed threads reps? At least a significant one. I don't actually know. I would love if somebody could answer that in chat, because I don't actually know. I know when you do the weekly pact thing, something that I didn't do too much on the beta, you get to choose one of them to rep for the week, and the one you choose, there is different activities and perks you can do. I had a little bit of a look through I don't have it to hand, unfortunately. There was a diagram and a tree of what each one offers and some of the perks you can get from it. None of it screamed super beneficial for goblins, but that was all pre-release. So perception on it could be different now. I've pilfered 40k Saronite bolts that I'd saved and have not gotten any. Figured it was not the case. Well, you can get it, but not from bolts. You may have noticed pretty much the only thing you get from bolts is other bolts. You have to be pilfering higher grade, not higher quality, but just like bigger parts. Got bolts and some of the washer fluids from the bolts. Yeah, I don't have the full details on exactly what pilfers into what, but smart people out there have done enough testing to realize that your basic bolts are only going to give you the basic stuff. That's like playing the 2p machine. You're not gonna win the big jackpot by just sitting there playing the 2p machine. You got to start, high roller blackjack tables and whatever. Did not regret crafting more greased up gears in Dragonflight. I thought 300k would be enough. I wonder, there's part of me that wonders if everybody is burning through all of their resources super fast. There really is part of me that wonders if people are just absolutely annihilating their way through their parts, and to whether that stockpile from people preemptively buying stuff will dry up. The fact that there's only 8 pummel permits available is wild. Okay? I don't get that there's only 8. Sold all my Ceravite stockpiles for 8x profits. Oh yeah, yeah, it's probably a smart move. If you bought Ceravite in en masse really early. Sold millions of bolts and gears, but still have guild banks full of them left. I do somewhat wonder if
Let's make
the early
sweet
stocks
profit together.
dry up though. Because you can with the gifts. Thank you very much. Appreciate those. Enjoy your little Flappy Bird.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Anyway,
My thanks
let's
for your
get to
pilfering.
maybe actually. Where's let me vendor off all of this trash. No. Maybe you. No. Wait, what's going on here?
I have many wares.
To that lot. Probably do something with this. I'm so tempted just to put it all in. I should probably at least try and sell it though, shouldn't I? Or we leave it in the bags and forget about it for another day. What that is though, that is chicken. Okay. We're up to 665. 900 is the next check mark, which is still quite far away, isn't it? 900 is quite a distance away. You know if you can get knowledge points from the world treasures with gathering professions. I don't definitively know. I
Is that your wallet?
tested it a little
You
bit
just
in the
glad to see
beta
me.
and never found any.
Both, I hope.
I never found any for skinning, never found any for herbalism, never found any for mining. But I didn't try that hard.
Let's make sweet,
I
sweet
relatively
profit
quickly
together.
found them when I had most of the crafting professions. So I think the only gathering's only sources I think is the turn-in, material turn-in, the X amount of blues, and then the 1 epic. I think that's it. I'm not convinced herbalism or mining really gets a lot every week. Yeah, enchanting, or more importantly, disenchanting works in the same way as like a gathering profession. You get a bunch of small ones and then epic one to finish. But we'll all figure this all out for definite. As much as I know is documented in my guide, in excruciating amounts of detail in there. 665, did I shuffle? I mean, that's all I've been doing for the last few days. Caffeinated Darren, thank you very much for the 2 gifteds, appreciate it. I do appreciate people choosing this channel to their gifted subs. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm stocking up a lot of my Artisan acuity and not being too hasty in spending it unless I have already figured out exactly what I'm doing with the character and know exactly where I want to spend it. Because not in all circumstances am I actually in a rush. There's part of me, you know, that needs to do a bunch more Kej farming. I might pick some of my Lobby level 70s. Much easier to do the Kej farm on those guys. So much easier to do it on them. Flipping, doing it on level 80 is a chore. That's one of those things that it's something you just got to get done. The sooner you get it done, the sooner it's done. Maybe let's take Bronze Mule. Who are you? You're leatherworking. Let's go do the Kej farm on you. Scale is being nerfed on resets, so be aware. What does that mean? Scaling? Oh, blue post? The hotfixes will adjust the scaling of enemies in the wall within leveling content to increase the power low-level enemies, bringing the duration of combat more in line with expected WoW behavior. These changes will be most noticeable at level 70 and will have a reduced impact as your level increases. Enemies at level 80 and above will be unchanged. Ah! Wrecked. See, this is why I leveled a few characters to 80 in the early access. Now we're going to feel like shit at level 70 and 80. Yeah. Okay. Right then. Well, Kej farm. I've got how many Lobby characters have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do some Kej farming. Now Blizzard. What's this entrance? Where's it go? Where's the portal to Spider Zone? Because this is where I need to go. I need to go do some quests in a few places. Here's the plan. It's rough to be... Oh, no, hang on. I need to view... Warband completed. Behind the auction house. Is it this one? Be sure? No. What? Where's it gone? Oh no, it's right around the corner, isn't it? Is it here? Yes, there we go. Oh Lord, imagine not having early access and missing out. Yeah. Right, I can't remember the exact order we're meant to do this in, but I vaguely remember we started over here. What's the farm? I need to do some too. It's basically the side quests in Ashgahet. The ones up the north here, the ones in the west, and then the Niffen looking ones round here somewhere. And then there's a delve you do in Siegehold. When you get the quest to do the delve in Siegehold, that's kind of the end of the road.
The
Is it
flame
you?
burns for all of us.
No, I
Always
don't
be
remember
prepared.
being you. No, it's on the ship, isn't it? One on the ship, this one. Second front.
We have strayed from favor.
You do the whole zone, you'll have 4,127 cash. I am kind of slowly progressing through the entire zone on one of my alts. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm very tempted to maybe just lore master it on one dude. Preferably level 70. Preferably now before they change shit. That's entirely feasible. Do I just use this dude and lore master the zone? How long does it take to lore master the zone? A couple of hours? It's not the quickest way to get 4,127 cash, but it's something I need to do for reputation even. One of the side quests are missing if you're not 80. Okay. Doing Lore Master on every zone on one character, it's long. 3-4 hours if you chill. Like I said, it's wombo combo for me because I kind of need do the zone for renown, rep reasons anyway. But do I really? It's Hallowfall, Assembly, and Council who I really need to do the renown for because they're the fellas that have knowledge book. I don't really know if there's anything I care about with these fellas. Once I've got the cash, I don't know if I care. I mean, I'll do it eventually, but... All cash wallet. Large cash wallet. I'll just do the basic quick stuff. Let's do the basic quick
We
stuff.
must prepare for Belladar to shift. The day
Defensive
of
counter.
darkness changed everything.
Because then we can get it done on a few characters. If it changes. Hotfixes come in. What's cash for? Well, most professions are going to need like 500 or so of it, bare minimum, to get some knowledge points. You may or may not need more of it, depending on you need recipes that require it, for example. And if the recipes often take 1,500 of it per recipe, so that adds up really quite quickly. But you'll need to check whether you need those recipes. See, this is the thing. 4 global cooldowns and he's dead. Doing this on my level 80 earlier, I pulled 3 mobs and pull 3 mobs and I was dead. Some of the bosses on the map. Yeah, the rares will give you some cash as well. Treasures give you cash also. This is more hunting down the relatively easy time sources. Considering it's a transferable currency anyway, get more of it than you need on one character. It's biggie, you can put it where it needs to go. This is Christmas. Couldn't have done that on my level 80 earlier. I've been dead 12 times over if I tried that. It's on level 70. Barely took a scratch.
I must ensure
It's
my
almost
people's
like
survival.
Blizzard didn't actually test how powerful people would be once they gave them all these remix characters. Crazy,
We are
right?
surrounded by dangers.
Blizzard needs to fix the fact you need at least one currency before transfer. Yeah, that is so dumb. That's something that I reckon's relatively easy to fix. But it is silly. Where did that treasure go?
Belladar shift in your favor. For the Empire.
There's a series of world quests that's actually locked behind completing the farm part of the zone. Oh, really? Okay. It's silly, but it's more complicated to fix than you think. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. I massively underrepresent the complexity. What's going on with Patron orders? I don't have any on any profession. Well, if you play Team EU, you're unlikely to see many anyway. If you're playing on Team NA and have already had your reset, you might need to leveling your profession up a bit more. Though, Team NA had their reset and there was pretty sizable bugs with patron orders, so I would not be too surprised if they've turned them off temporarily for NA. Oh, for any of my Finnish friends, by the way, literally, bestie. Best. Max level, Team NA, no patrons. Haven't seen a single order on NA. Okay. Well, I don't exactly know what was going on with them. What I do know is that there was it was a little bit broken when they had the reset. So there is a possibility that they've turned them off temporarily.
We are a light in the darkness. A beacon.
That's not the quest we're meant to have. The one we're meant to have over here. You
need something?
Well, that was the one for the delve itself. But wasn't one of you dishing out some quests that led to infestation, prisoner preservation? They were the two. Bang these out nice and fast. Yeah, these stupid bugs. Theory shouldn't be too much of a concern this time round. Find out by pulling half the zone and seeing what happens. Yeah, I'd literally... Not a scratch. Not a scratch. Do you know of any weak auras that show a to-do list for professions? There's one weak aura that I haven't actually really looked at using yet. Tama's done a profession. You'll have probably used Tama's weekly stuff in Dragonflight. His weak aura's got pretty popular. He's done or he's working on a profession-y one. It was very early in its it wasn't finished last time I looked at it, but it was getting there. Probably check again tomorrow. Oh no, wait, hang on, I'm not meant to be in here yet. Realised. Next stage. Ahead of myself. I guess there's a few. What we might do at some point next week is just pick up a couple of them and, you know, maybe do a compare and contrast. What you often find with weak auras is that somebody does something really well and then somebody does something else really well. And in an annoying fashion, you kind of end up running 7 weak auras that all kind of do the same thing. But you sort of prefer little bits out of little ones. I remember that with the knowledge point trackers in Dragonflight. There was a couple of them that did basically the same thing, but... any tips for alchemy? I keep blowing up. No. Alchemy, you just blow up. Theoretically, more knowledge points you put into alchemical mastery, the less you blow up, and the greater the chance you have of learning new recipes, but you're aggressively hamstrung by knowledge points to do that right now. If you're looking to grind out alchemy, learn everything you can with alchemy, you just got to deal with it, unfortunately. All the more so if you're going thaumaturgy and you don't have the knowledge points to spend it in alchemical mastery at all, which is also understandable. Yeah, you just gonna have to fight through bad time. Looking at your UI, I remembered that I moved my map at the bottom center when I saw your UI a couple of years ago. Great for gathering. Yeah, it does work pretty well for gathering. It's more within your peripheral vision, like right up in the corner here by default. It's just kind of a little bit too out of the way. There's even an add-on called, what's it called? Gatherer HUD? What's it called? Farm HUD, maybe? That completely removes your mini map and just puts like these weird dots on your screen, but it gave me like vertigo sickness feeling. Never liked it. More importantly, I felt a bit ill every time gathering anyway. Everything, yeah. So funny, at level 70, 71, I genuinely don't care about pulling everything. I'm actually a little bit sad that this is going to change tomorrow. I'd half planned to do all my weekly world quests on level 70 characters and stuff, but maybe if even I'd come to that conclusion, it's the right move by Blizzard to nerf it, because scaling is busted. Seen the video by Solheim about spawning work orders? Did he do a video on that? He's got to be really careful, you know. He's got to be really careful, you know. I stumbled across his, well, not stumbled across, he's on my, I check in with him on Twitch mostly just to see what farms are going on at the time. I stumbled across him actively admitting he engaged in exploit back in, like he's got to be really careful.
Later, be seeing ya.
People have caught bans for significantly less than that. I mean, he should be a little bit more careful by maybe not doing it, and he should be even more careful by maybe not publicizing it. Now we've got to go do... Was it Nothing Ventured? Or was it It's Rough to Be a Bug? I can't remember. I think it was Nothing Ventured. I think it was this one. Or theoretically, can I go just do the delve now? I think we just go do the delve. Might skip the Niffen one. May or may not be right. We'll just go do the delve anyway. It's probably more important to get the delve done and out of the way, as it's easier to do the delve on a OP level 72 than it is a squishy level 80. Did not promote it, he tells people not to do it. Well, I'm sure his thumbnail is entirely not clickbait though, right? Anyway, each to their own. My place to say. Patron. I think people should do due diligence about things of that nature. Beginning of an expansion. Find a bug, and if you find a potential exploit in the live version of the game, the smart thing to do is to inform Blizzard, not make a video on it, honestly. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment in much. You're a big dude, by the way. I love how Blizzard's claim that
Let's
early
make
access
sweet,
isn't going to
sweet
give you an
profit
advantage.
together.
If we actually summarize what we've seen via early access, we've seen Mythic Geared Demon Hunters level locked at level 70, soloing
wallet?
normal
You
dungeons
just
in
glad
2
to see me.
minutes, whilst
Both, I
multi-boxing
hope.
3, sometimes 4 additional characters. That's not an advantage, surely.
Those webs will summon Rubians.
We've seen... What else have we had? We've had significant amounts of farms nerfed already before the game has gone live. Hyperspawn farms predominantly.
That's more like
In
it.
day 1, we saw a distinct nerf to the amount of green items dropped, which has since caused every single green item to be worth about 400 gold flat rate because of the price of dust. I'm still convinced we're going to see a nerf to Darkmoon cards and Darkmoon decks,
Stronger by the second.
because gaining 120 Darkmoon cards an hour was a little bit broken. In other words, boys and girls, if you ever had any doubts that spending the money for early access wasn't going to give you an advantage, now you know it definitely does. Where do we, oh, that way. I hope that doesn't make them not want to do it in the future. Well, the biggest problem is, right, is all it will do is incentivize more people to feel obliged to pick it up next time. This is why they shouldn't have ever done it in the first place, honestly. Because it's an MMO. There's always bugs on launch. Which means the only fair thing, like, while it's often not fair to nerf something and let people who had advantage from it keep their advantage, whilst that's not particularly fair in the first place, what's at least somewhat fair is that everybody could equally have been able to have accidentally or on purpose gained that advantage. You know, there's an equal opportunity by letting everybody play the expansion at the same time. Huh? I think that's crazy. Now you basically pay $40 to exploit early, exploit often. That's what it feels like. Like, yes.
Those webs will summon Rubians.
Would you like all the advantages, even though we're going to claim that there's no player power? Do you know if I need to be do I need 70 tailoring to get the patron work orders? Well, when I did tailoring, I had to be 62 before I got them. This could entirely mean that, yes, there is some hidden requirement. It somewhat seems sensible to me that you need to be past the point where trainer taught recipes can give you skill. Then patron orders turn up. That's a way to supplement your next chapter, I suppose. But it's not been documented to confirm the detail that that is the case. Now, every profession kind of runs out of trainer recipes at a slightly different time, but the numbers even could be different.
There's treasure close by.
The numbers could be different for each profession.
Nice find.
Boss now.
Don't stand there.
Oh, these buttons would be the wrong way around. Whoops. There's a treasure down. How do I get to that one? Too fast to do that.
Oh, those webs will
Oops.
summon Rubians. Don't stand in them.
Oh, I did this earlier. How do I get back up there? How do I get back where I was going?
They'll never be using that move.
Did I come this way? Oh, I'm so lost. Where I came this way. This is why sat-navs are mandatory. Wait, all that does is bring me back to here. Now I don't know what's going on. I want that treasure. Oh, no, you just fall through that. Great. Excellent. Fantastic, that. Where's the door gone? Hello? Is it on the other side? Am I being really dumb? Don't answer that. It was the door's on the other side. Gosh, leave me alone. Is this why you stay in town and craft? Yes. Thank God I'm on a character that, like, isn't a mage. I was on a mage right now. Heck, can you come back here? Bran, what are you doing, mate? What are you do? Put the fucking Nerubian down. Put the Nerubian down.
I need to rest after that one.
Of course you need a rest. And off and aggroed everything, you moron. I'll do. Let's get out of here. Auction House performance in low pop servers has been disgusting. Had to create a new character in a full pop just to use it. Your population's probably not going to make a world of difference, honestly. They're doing all of the auction, region-wide auction house and all. It's been pretty dog shit most evenings, most of it. If you're planning on doing any sort of cancel scanning, you can think again.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
Right, that was more. The question is, okay, that gave us 720 by doing those little things. From those handful of sources. That's 600 for the individual character that we're on. Plus a little bit of bonus for somebody else. Let's go. This dude's a leather worker by trade. Let's take a flight down and get the leatherworking kedge book.
We will triumph. The Empire's light will
After the campaign's done, how do you unlock the world quests? I seem to have missed something. How did you do it? Well, literally the final quest of the campaign is unlocking the world quests. So you do it down in Ashkahet. You do it in the Weaver's Lair, I think. So maybe if you haven't unlocked adventure mode, you've actually missed the final quest. Right, time to fly, time to pee. Back in 2. Thanks. Yeah, in other words, I have absolutely no idea where you get your spark quests. 2 minutes of TLDR.
Here I am.
Uses for leftover husks after you take them apart. Leatherworking. Boom. Doink.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Done. This dude's getting quite some progress, you know. Still yet to finish actually leveling leatherworking. Leatherworking's also one where I think I can get away with only 2 of these if I want. I'm not convinced what I'm gonna do with leatherworking. I kind of think I know what I'm gonna do with leatherworking, but I've not entirely decided. The options are not really that strong for me. It's all flipping work order. It's work orders, work orders, work orders, or more work orders, or armor kits, or reagent. It's armor kits or reagents for me. The question is which one do I do? Leatherworking's a tough one if you don't want to do work orders. Can you see your work orders by? Not here, no. And go back to... You know if the rares are weekly? Has NA confirmed or not? Yeah, good question. Has Team NA been able to go kill rares again for rep? I have a feeling they're one time, you know. I think the rep grind is gonna, like the renown grind is gonna be gross. I reckon the rares are gonna be one time, and I reckon it's gonna be entirely down to world quests. World quests and like the dungeon weekly and maybe like bountiful delve. Something or others, or always the level 80 rares that give weekly. Okay, they are weekly. Yeah, you can't repeat world quests. World quests rep rewards are warband wide. Once. What's this? Rattling bag of gold. On, rich. Right. Let's do the. Got this dude next. Need some cash. Low enough level. Bit relatively quick, I think.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
Captain
Both, I
Keeks with the
hope.
gifties. Thank you very much, my man. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. For your little flappy bird.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
There's the... it was here somewhere, but it doesn't show on the map. Oh no, hang on. Is that because my map is not showing all band completed stuff? There we go. Right, let's see if we can do this a little bit more efficiently now. I've done it a few times. I don't remember doing the... I didn't do the Niffins, though. I didn't buy Yoldi Niffin. I didn't do Yoldi Niffin ones. I can't remember how much they were meant to. Right, either way, we start on the ship.
The Emperor rewards
On the ship, talk to you. Zooms down here. Blizzard's increasing the difficulty of leveling. Yep. Oh, how glad I am I leveled 4 characters to 80.
I pray for the flame to show us
The access.
We must rely on outsiders to save the
I knew that was I knew that was going to be a smart move. I knew speed of leveling was too good to be true. I knew there was no way that 15 minutes of level was meant to be it. Clearly
Is that
wasn't.
your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Fresh level 70 time runners with little class knowledge again in. Early access isn't an
Is that
advantage.
your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Hey, woo, my man, with the gifties. Thank you very much. Sure, you flappy pigeon. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's getting fixed tomorrow, so go ham on leveling today if you want to get more. I kind of did think I wanted to get 5 out of the early access, but I'm happy with 4. These guys are clearly going to get leveled up slowly but surely by crafting and doing own quests, bits and pieces anyway. I mean, in theory, there's nothing stopping me like logging them on and like burning up any rested experience in delves or something, you know. Various ways to play the game that progress you. Any progress you make in a delve gives you progress to ban, so you can use alts. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone there as well if you wish.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see
Hey,
me?
what's going on? You're
Both,
triggering
I
hype
hope.
trains now. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit
Yeah, do we have a
together.
blue on this hotfix, or is it just a what was it?
I would
Like
safeguard my people.
a tweet? What was it? I've kind of taken it at face value, but I'd kind of like to have a little look.
The day of darkness changed everything.
Then we go up to prisoner preservation. Well, then MMO champion. And post links, boys. You got them. Easy for people. Wouldn't you make it easy for me? They said they're going to make mobs stronger so fights will take longer. Yeah, because your time to kill right now on a level 70 character is ridiculous. 3 global cooldowns and mobs are dead. Whereas you have to cycle through or DPS rotation twice to kill a mob at level 80. It's not a subtle, you're getting weaker as you level. It's a, oh my god, you can't. It's not remix level bad, but it doesn't feel great. You start finishing the final zone at like 77, 78, 79. It gets pretty rough. Hence why everybody went and just farmed dungeons instead. At least then there's the chance of spawning into a group with a Giga Chad in it and GGing the whole place. Oh, I've got these 2 keybinds the wrong way around. I thought this character was playing weird. I've been using multi-shot when I'm meant to be using flipping barb shot. No wonder it's on.
What do you need?
Some leveling today, then just rest regularly. Well, you can get a couple of levels by crafting. I noticed this,
Let's
like,
make sweet,
I'm
sweet
practically level
profit
72,
together.
and that's mostly just by crafting. So it's very plausible. A little bit of leveling, crafting at least. Do I get any cash if I do the story quests in Ashgahet again? If you no campaign, well, all one-time cash rewards are warbound wide. Sorry, no, that's a lie. The campaign ones are warbound wide. These are individual side quests that are once per character.
Stay away from the voodoo. Spirits be with you, man.
So like this, for example. 285 is a one-time per character. You can do it on as many characters as you have. And your first 750 to 1,000 cash per character. It's pretty efficient. The little campfire next to the reward indicates it's once per warband, I thought. I think that refers to it's a transferable currency, is it not? Oh, I don't know. Still learning these icons. Ah. Kill command's also not on the right goddamn button. Oh, all of my cooldowns in a stupid place on this. Oh no, with me buttons. Wonder why my pet was not pet thing.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but thank you very much for the gifted sub. I did see you through a tier 1 in for yourself earlier. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cajun, I'm gonna go with. Very much. This dude nearly killed my level 80. Lol. Does the quality of the herb affect the success chance? I don't know. I never believed it did. Now I leveled probably 4 or 5 times on the beta alchemy, that is. Never did I really notice much of a difference on the success rate of discovery using high quality herbs or low quality. The only thing that it seems to really affect, don't forget when you're doing a wild experimentation, do still have your skill bar, but that's more for the quality of the potions or eventually flasks that you can proc. So if you can get that bar full, or in theory, I don't think this is really a good use of concentration. I'm quite sure you can actually use your concentration on your wild experimentation. It's not going to do anything other than guarantee quality 3 potions out the end of it. But that seems like that's probably not going to be very lucrative for quite a while. That sounds like it needs the prices to come down quite a lot before that works. Was it? I don't have the quest for this. Was that? Ah. Maybe I need to do more on this character because I haven't got the quest for the delve this time round. Oh shit, I've missed one. Is it nothing I'm going to assume it's nothing ventured. I need to look this up properly. Actually, I want to have a little bit of time to fly. Have a little look at the blue post. Going on here. Blizzard increasing leveling difficulty tomorrow. One day after they open the to the masses. As players have jumped into the war within and begin leveling up, we've seen data and heard a great deal of feedback that players coming into Kazongar with endgame Dragonflight gear were extremely powerful relative to that initial content. This is entirely intended. The effort put into gearing translates into a significant combat advantage at the start of a new expansion. The values we've been seeing are extreme, often not even allowing time for normal combat rotations. This disparity also caused mixed level groups to experience skewed results, with lower level players contributing drastically more than level 80s. Tomorrow, Wednesday, August 28th, we're going to apply hotfixes to the game to address this. The hotfixes will adjust the scaling of enemies in the War Within leveling content to increase the power of lower level enemies, bringing the duration of combat more in line with the expected WoW behavior. These changes will be most notable at level 70 and will have a reduced impact as your level increases. Enemies at level 80 and above will be unchanged. So, much like Remix, you're still going to hit like a wet noodle at max level for a while. But now, your freebie level 70 Remix characters are going to hit like a wet noodle from the word go, rather than feeling strong or progressing into wet noodle status. Okay, sure. Roll on, XP, farm, knockhood, incoming, something, surely.
It's lonely at the top.
Actually, wasn't it quests in here we were meant to pick up as well? No, maybe that bit comes next. A lot of words to say it's stupid with nerfing it. Yeah. Blizzard have always tried to keep this level of diplomacy about their blue posts. And sometimes I wish they were just a little bit more brutally honest. And I tend to think they'd garnish far more public brownie points if they were a little bit more honest. You know, the occasional, we done fucked up, we've got to fix this now, sorry if you were affected adversely, sometimes comes across better than 3 paragraphs basically saying we're nerfing something, but we're going to butter it up and doll it up to make it sound like it's for your benefit.
Pleasure doing business with ya.
Buddy system, don't wander off alone.
I tend to think that most players of video games, especially ones that are going to pay attention to blue posts on third-party websites, because let's not forget, one thing that has always baffled me is there's basically nothing in the game that ever tells you that anything like this happens. You don't go looking for it, you don't know it happens. Like, you don't log in and the first thing you're presented with is today's or recent blueprint, like recent blue posts, recent updates. You've got a what's new button that brings up a nice splash screen, but there's basically nothing. So unless you go digging for this stuff, half the time you don't even know it exists. Which makes me believe that most players live in this kind of la-la land of just, you know, blissful ignorance. They even post it on their official site. Often not. Often it will only be like a dev note in like the forums or something. Often not at all does it go anywhere even like deemed official. Which I've always thought is really strange. I know, you know, World of Warcraft, probably more so than a lot of other games out there, has a really solid news and reporting system, but it's predominantly done by third parties and content creators. I guess over the years, Blizzard have probably learned they don't need to do it because other people do it for free. Much like add-ons, I suppose. It's the same theory. we could add these quality of life features into the game, but considering an add-on dev's already done it for us, we'll just let them take the credit until we eventually steal it and integrate it 5 expansions later.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Cynical Mantheus mode. I really don't want to butcher your name, but I know you're a long-time viewer and support the channel. Thank you, thank you. Sasuke. I don't want to butcher it, but I'm going to try anyway. What fool would waste their time making add-ons?
Welcome, friend.
I've used Thaumaturgy maybe 100 times today, still haven't discovered ominous all gloom herbs yet. Am I doing something wrong? You do need to put some knowledge points in the three transmutation nodes, I believe, before you can unlock some of them. It may be just unlocking the nodes, it may be putting 5 points in them, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. You do have to spread your points out a little bit to start discovering all of those.
Hey there! Come closer so I can get a whiff of you. Yo! Hurry back!
Still don't have the quest for the delve. I had this much easier without doing half of this guff last time. I wonder if I've missed a trick somewhere.
Lost your way? Oh, hate to see you go.
5 points in the 3 volatile nodes. There we go. That sounds like somebody that knows what they're talking about. Oh, 285 cash. Okay, this was... Can't even buy tools on the auction house. I was trying to use the auction house earlier, and I actually went as far as buying things that were significantly more expensive than the cheapest ones, just so that I didn't waste 20 minutes trying to buy it. It seems really dumb, but it's the only solution I had. Missed one. I missed here. Why is there no give me X amount of these materials as long as they're under Y? Yeah, forcing you to buy from the bottom up has definitely caused a lot of problem. I know it's only in recent times they've, you know, changed the house, but I'd fathom a guess they might need to look at, especially with all this warbands, and it's a consistent problem right now. It's a consistent problem. Every time we have a major content patch, something falls apart. Maybe they do need to reconsider the way they deal with the materials. Most max level characters. You officially, have you overtaken the race to world first guys now? Is that what, like 19, 20 level 80s or something now? You've done 200 dungeon runs in 4 days. Good effort, fair play. Fair play. And all in time for the leveling nerf. All in time for the leveling nerf. That's taking full advantage, that is. Right, I'm going to fly up here. I don't know if... I can't remember what the name of the quest for the Delve is. Maybe it is this, his plan one. Maybe I should have picked that up. Notice that TSM has only shown me prices from nearly 24 hours ago. The app says DB is up to date. Yeah, Gumdrops was in there earlier. He may still be lurking. He says it's 7 levels of fucked. If you think the auction house is running slow, imagine how bad their API is. So, it's all doing good stuff TSM side, but, or at least I'm informed. Aha, here we go. Spiral Weave. There's the quest for the actual delve. My honest answer to that, though, is you probably shouldn't be putting too much faith in TSM's numbers in the first few days anyway. DB Recent has been sort of reliable-ish, but even data that's an hour old can be so wildly different to what is present right here, right now, sort of thing. Napkin maths, using your brain, clearly the best plan of action right now. Gumdrops has just said that Blizzard isn't updating the EU data. NA should be fine, though. Oh, okay. He's not lurking anymore, he's working. Is he reorganizing his sock drawer again? Again. Socks does that man own? Very many. I wash them weekly. Weekly?
You won't hit us with that one.
Changes their socks weekly. I only take mine off once a month. Never mind put them in the wash.
Pleasure close by.
I'm joking. Now I've got to go make 100 knowledge books so I can go to bed. My bags are full of knowledge books. I made easy 100 knowledge books yesterday. In fact, I probably made closer to 400 knowledge books yesterday, I think. Maybe even more. But I was leveling Inscription on all of my characters. That was a lot of books. Other than enchanting, do you know which professions give the most acuity for shuffling? I'm about 250 short, plenty of gold to spend. Alchemy, engineering, chanting, and inscription are like the main 4. The other ones that are potential options, but ludicrously expensive currently, it's going to be anything that has PvP patterns. You are either going to need to acquire, in whichever form you desire, the patterns. That would then all of a sudden add tailoring, that would add blacksmithing, that would add all of the others basically. But let's see how deep those pockets are, shall we? And that's all before reset to when you are going to want to do it all again for all of the above professions. Not for first time crafts this time, but to do the weekly stuff on them. So part of me that is a little bit concerned that doing the first time craft shuffles was the cheap bit. Enchanters with the glamours feel like cheating. Well, there's a reason I did enchanting on all of my characters, and there's a reason I've done inscription on all of my characters already. Because if they are going to hotfix anything, that's kind of the prime candidate thing for them to hotfix. They'll make it so inscription books only give 1 artisan acuity each, for example. They'll make it so that those glimmers only give 1 artisan acuity each. Not that I think that Blizzard are really going to do much of anything with this anymore. They're about... I think they did their public image bit before the expansion went. Not sure they'd touch much else. But that's kiss of death, isn't it? So.
Nice find.
Know if the knowledge books are weekly, or can you catch up with them if you don't use them? No, they are strictly weekly. But this is where the patron order system is meant to do its thing. Patron order system is meant to be your catch-up for knowledge in general. So in theory, don't know how Blizzard actually does this. In theory, Blizzard is likely to track the amount of knowledge gains that are potential for your character to have obtained on over the weeks. Whether it's a fixed number each week and it just, you know, adds a multiple every week. The patron order system is then in theory meant to be there to give you more patron orders with more knowledge points if you are behind. They stated that the catch-up system would kick in from like after the first reset. So they were still a bit coy with exact details. Still left many people with questions. Patron orders are theoretically meant to catch you up to within a few points, I think is the way Blizzard phrased it. But of course, what they probably don't track, one-time treasures. They probably don't track, well, one-time treasures, basically. So that's going to be your first-time crafts. That's going to be more artisan acuity knowledge books. That's going to be your cash book. The one-time stuff is probably excluded from that weekly sort of cap or quota, I would guess. If I was coding it, that's how I'd look at doing it. Then again, a lot of the ways I would do something, it end up being totally different. The way Blizzard actually looks at it. Have you ever heard that something disappears from the auction house or bugs like that? Oh yeah. What you see is just a visual representation of a database. It is not uncommon for entries in a database to go awry. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means that you know, you're not seeing them straight away. There's also for the baiting, you know, all these people that are lowballing like one material, for example. Blizzard developed a system for that in Dragonflight, where if you undercut the price by more than 5%, I think it was. Somebody will know the exact details on this. Valkyl's in chat lurking, so he probably has an idea of this as well. Blizzard had something where if you undercut by more than 5%, your auction doesn't actually show up for a certain period of time. Sort of somewhat negating the baiting system. I don't know why they haven't had that switched on so far. They really could do with it. They've removed that system for some reason. I think it's a toggle switch in essence for them. I think it's something that they can turn on and off as needed. I suspect it probably slows down the whole auction house to be able to do it. So it's hence why they turn it off when it's not necessarily needed. But prime time, like now, it feels that they really should have it on. I'm not sure why it's not. You don't see them, that's okay. Question is are the items safe, that you won't lose anything permanently? It's very rare. It's very rare that stuff completely disappears ever. Like I said, all we see, the front end of what we see is just a visual representation of a database in the background. Okay?
That's more like it.
Just because we don't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist in the game code behind the scenes or in some database somewhere. Weird things often happen, like they'll expire 48 hours later and then land in your mailbox, you know. It's happened before. Where's the Nif and Kej quest located? The eastern side of the map. You make sure that you've got view all quests enabled and that you're not hiding ones that your warband has already done. You can do that with a little tracking thing down here. Make it show that you're seeing warband completed quests. I'm also using an add-on, by the way, called BTW quests, which might be what's also showing these on the map. I'm not sure. The Niffins are around this place. Marl. You got to do, basically you're doing the quests, you're starting quests in here, the ones at the very north, and then the ones in Marl. These are the ones that are going to give you the on-time reward.
Smell that? It's treasure. Fantastic.
What time is it? Oh my god, it's not even 10 o'clock. I was just thinking to myself, I'm getting really tired. Probably. Choice of dinner today was far from healthy. I treated myself and I ordered a family-sized pizza to myself. So I'm fighting off that food coma. Good though. Sometimes you gotta do it. You hate the whole thing? I'm not even mad. I didn't actually eat the whole thing. I'm a disappointment to all fatty fat fats. But I ate plenty enough of it to feel bigger than I usually am. You order from a chain place or a local? Ah, choice. I live in the country in Finland. I don't get choice. I have one pizza place. I don't get choice. I would love choice. 460 upgraded ring. Sure. Not angry, I'm just disappointed. Ah, that old chestnut. Right. This dude is Scribbly Scribbler. Get a cache book. Cache book. Scribbly scribbler. Cache book. Done. Still getting clipping on the mic. I'm not going to fix it midstream, but I will look into it. This little player tracker thing is literally something I whipped up on stream 2 days ago. It's part of what, in theory, was going to be my Dragonflight goal making cheat sheet. But the reality is it isn't anything of any sort yet. It's basically my Dragonflight one that I've just kind of ever so slightly customized. The TSM API side of things doesn't work, so I need to strip that out or redo it again. Turn the global materials list is all the old one. This is just one sheet. It doesn't do anything smart or anything fancy. Just a few tick boxes, and I've put some, you know, it's literally zero smarts in this. You could have done this on back of a napkin. This is all the wrong expansion. So I know there's lots of stuff it looks here, but this is just a copy paste of my old one, like with one new sheet added. I mean, it's a nothing burger. It's not anything that's worth sharing. It was just convenient. I, you know, slapped another page in my. It's not like I've made a complete new one and I'm hiding it away, squirreling away. Same with my TSM. I know people are pestering for TSM groups and operations. Do you want to see my TSM groups for the War Within? Haven't got any. I've got nothing to share. I have not used TSM in any way, shape or form for the purpose of groups. So far. Nearly all of my buying and selling has been entirely manual so far. A little bit of auctioneer, occasionally. Automation comes once you have already figured out how to do it manually. I've always been a strong advocate of this. You probably don't want to be using it. I know people want to. The concept is you probably don't want to, and you probably shouldn't be automating stuff. I know using the word automation is a bit of a gumdrops or shoot me, but it's you shouldn't be using add-ons to make your life easier and to do repetitive tasks until you at least know how to do it manually and assure that what you're doing is correct.
Oh, hello.
And I live by that theory myself. First thing I do is not make a TSM setup. The first thing I do is figure out what I need a TSM setup for. Waiting on the auction house to stop choking itself to death before touching TSM. Yeah, well, this is it, right? You try to do post scans on TSM right now, you're going to cry. You're not going to get anywhere. It's time will come. Its time will come. And I'm also very aware that there is some new stuff to come soon with TSM. I don't know much in terms of detail yet, but just stay tuned. Where did that book go? This one? This one? This one? Oh god, where did it go? That way. Edge book. Now the difference is with Inscription, I have spent some spec points. I have spent some points. I put points in milling. My question is do I want to finish milling or do I want to start putting points in inks? I need to make a prediction to exactly when I'm going to want to be able to make quality 3 inks. Because the irony is that the majority market for inks in the next week isn't going to be high quality inks. It's actually low quality inks. And there's, in a weird twist of fate, there's part of me that wants to be able to make lower quality inks in a more efficient way than making higher quality inks. So better is always better. I can already guarantee quality 2 inks with quality 2 pigments, easy peasy. The push to be able to make quality 3 inks with quality 3 pigments is going to be more of a challenge. Take quality 1 pigments and make quality 1 herbs and make quality 2 pigments ready. Nice little optimization. Kind of half meaning that I'm so far away. Well, quality 3 pigments, quality 3 herbs into quality 3 pigments, it's not actually that far away. A couple of these things fixed. A couple of these things fixed and a few more points, it's there. I can make Q3 pigments with Q3 herbs and Q3 inks with pigments right now. Oh, I know it's possible. I know it's possible. I haven't fully optimized my Inscription yet. Where can I get the playlist? It's great. The playlist. It's there. Racial helps a ton. Oh, Nightborn, yeah. Yeah, probably will. Do you lose knowledge points if you unlearn the profession? No. No. Knowledge points are permanent. Permanent. Part of me that wants to put 10 points in here just so it's done. Plus I get the crafting speed. Fun. I've equally not gone out and hyper optimized my knowledge point. Have I even done first time crafts on this yet? Still have a random craft apparently. Haven't picked up the contracts. I'm unlikely to pick up the contracts because they cost Artisan acuity. I should get my mixing rod recipe because it's definitely going to be a Patron order for one of those tomorrow. More importantly, I would. This is on the auction house actually, isn't it? This is one I can just go out and buy. Saves me going and doing elves. Rolling pin one actually. And all of this. Yeah, there's a lot more room for optimization there. As long as I've got this one filmed by end of next week, we're good. Still a little bit short on Artisan acuity to get a couple of bits of... Yeah, you can have just 2 of these, can't you? 2 of these and the Nightborn racial does the job, yeah. That's where the station is. Why did I never make this? Alright, let's get back to ... Bornagle. like I said, for me, it's not that much of a rush because I'm going to try and need to time it so that I can at least make the inks for when people need them. Still, people need them, not essential. Of course, I'm also trying to balance it all. Got knowledge books for a while though. 73 of them for old scribbly. That's fun. Am I within reach of doing something clever with... Milling Q3. You're never going to get to the point where you can mill Q3 pigments from 2 herbs without the use of concentration. So in other words, you're never going to do it. Q3 pigments are going to come from herbs. Q3 inks are going to then come from Q3 pigments. No room for moving on that. What professions are you going this time round? All of them. All of them. I might inevitably end up favouring one over another, 2 over the others at some point, but I was like, right, well, if we're going to do it this time round, we've got to do it. The only way to do it is to do it big. So I wanted to do all of them. Now, of course, doing all of them doesn't mean I get the luxury of being able to spec into a different direction. But what am I focusing on? All 8 crafting professions. I'm spreading my time sort of equally. Crafting profession books provide artisan acuity. Yes. I seem to have accidentally fallen more into herb-based ones. My Inscription is already leveled. My Alchemy is already leveled. That said, Blacksmithing is fully leveled now. Jewelcrafting is fully leveled as well. I've actually got 4 of the profession like maxed out. No, that's a lie. My Blacksmithing is not maxed. Press a button every hour on. I've got me Blacksmith. Let's go, Dave. Not worth to try and buy level 2 herbs in order to upgrade them to level 3. Not really, because you have to do it with concentration. I'm not interested in doing it today. This is also the difference with my playstyle. Whilst I am doing lots of... I'm doing 8 separate characters. What I'm not doing is like an alt army approach with...
Both, I hope.
The alt army approach would be like doing the bare minimum to, you know, get some concentration usage every day. I'm not going that route. I'm trying to almost min-max all 8 of them, which is crazy. Whoa! 10 gifties. Holy burnt beard. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Mr. Norton. Mr. Norton, you've been demoted from the top of your throne, my man.
Is that your wallet?
That is massive. Thank you very much.
Both, I hope.
If you are the recipient of a giftie today, please make sure you say your thank yous while lurking. Thank you.
Is that your wallet? Are you just glad to see me?
That will definitely get you a...
Both, I hope.
That will definitely get you a spectral pigeon.
Is that your wallet? Are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Right, let's go press my blacksmithing button.
Is that your wallet? Are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Oh, I got 2 charges, look. Oh, I'm out of core alloys, though. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not using max quality bismuth yet.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
Quality 1
Both, I
bismuth,
hope.
make quality 2 alloys. You guys just enjoy the sub. Thanks, dude.
Let's
Appreciate
make
it.
sweet,
Thank you.
sweet
Oh,
profit
multi-craft
together.
straight away.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
I've just realised for today it would probably be smart if I change my alerts to not go off of every single.
Is that your wallet?
Get
Or
that
are you just
highlight.
glad to see me? Both, I hope.
The irony is I have to use core alloys quality 2 because I can't make core alloys at quality 1 anymore. Come on, 85. 6. It's really hurting me to use Artisan security for this, you know. The knowledge points will be worth it. I need to press the button 14 more times. In the next, within the next 28 hours, we'll have it done. Theory. Does this go yellow or does this guarantee all the way? I can't remember. I have a sneaky suspicion this goes yellow at 90. So maybe the last 10 is going to be right sure. We'll use some bottle. Oh, we can't use bottled brilliance because it doesn't have a finishing reagent slot. It goes yellow at 90. Damn. Damn strawberry jam. Yo, 69 acuity though. Giggity. Best number. Only at 98 for blacksmithing. Yeah, I was slow to start pressing my button. I'll get there. Put some rubies on the auction house. Can't see them in my auction list. Should I be worried? No. The auction house is having issues this thing. I wouldn't be worried. Just obviously might have a bit of an issue if you need to cancel them for whatever reason. Did I do the Kej farm on this dude? Assuming I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Right. Next character, I suppose. I need to get the Kej farm done once or twice more. That's of higher priority for me tonight, I think. Considering doing anything auction house is a bit difficult. Donut balls. Chanting. Did I craft my own blue tools? No. Oh, I had a couple of people in the guild craft them for me. Don't remember the auction house being this fucked at the Dragonflight launch. Oh no, it was. It was. It was just as unusable. And this was even off the back of the fact that we had... What was it? We had 9.2.7, I think, was the patch, wasn't it? Where we actually had the region-wide auction house implementation, and that crushed it to the ground. That killed the auction house for nearly a week, that did. Interesting that was. where did I get the acuity for the blue tools? I've been shuffling professions all week. I can't give you an exact list of exactly where everything came from. I was doing anything and everything to get Artisan acuity. I should point out, each one of those tools has probably cost me somewhere in the region of about 300,000 to 400,000 gold. Maybe even more. When I take into consideration what it cost me to get the acuity. It's not a cheap way of getting them this early. Oh, it's actually the second front I need.
We will triumph. Obey the test.
You leaving it at 2 blue tools or shuffling for all of them? Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep I'm probably only gonna do the shuffle on a couple of characters, even though I am using all 8 professions. Mostly because engineering and alchemy is a pain in the ass, and they are the most expensive. But also, when we get the weekly stuff, there's a lot more access to easy to acquire Artisan acuity. Theory.
We must prepare for
Deep profession shuffle was just something I wanted to get out of the way this week, when it was mostly all you could really do, because there's no weekly content yet. Knowledge point gains. You can get about 75 Artisan's acuity from each profession you shuffle each week. Gathering has a little bit more, I think, because a lot more. Or does Gathering have more? No, Gathering probably has a little less, actually. But it's still has it. How does the shuffle work exactly? I mean, it is what it says on the tin, really. You pick a profession, you farm as much Artisan acuity from that profession as you get, drop it, and you shuffle into a new profession, and you rinse and repeat. It's, hang on, this is the airspace one. Screw you. Come on, that one. This was the problem, right? Blizzard made very, very last minute changes to all of this, which, whilst it did limit the amount of Artisan's acuity that's available, it certainly didn't kill it. And secondly, all it's likely to do is to elongate the prices, high prices of everything. So the advantage of elongated high prices should be quite apparent. In terms of that, if you don't want to engage in any of that activity, which is totally understandable, farming should be pretty goddamn lucrative for quite some time this patch. If you're not overly greedy, you should be pretty comfortable getting 20, 30, 40,000 gold an hour almost without really much effort. And more importantly, that should in theory stick around a lot longer. The demand on Q3 materials is going to be pretty strong for quite a while, because crafters are now way more hamstrung to their progress than they were just 2 hours before the launch of the expansion. I would much prefer if this sort of stuff wasn't possible, but it's so deeply ingrained into the entire profession system. Best Blizzard are really able to do is band-aid fix it. I'm not really sure there was much need for the band-aid fix, honestly. Equally, I don't particularly think the profession funnel nerf was really that necessary, but it all leads to the same purpose of that it slows down progression. I can only advocate for them to expansion. Hang on, the wife is probably calling to say goodnight. Let me quickly say hi. I'll be back in 2. Good. We're good. Where did we get to? What were we doing? I don't remember. Servers must be real bought. Standing at the auction house in Orgrimmar, getting transfer aborted, instance not found. Oh god. That sounds like it's trying to do sharding and not even being able to. Somebody feed the hamsters.
What you want? Stay away from them. Later. Spirits be with ya, man.
Do we know if there'll be free Artisan's Acuity Week? Like, no. There's nothing free about this profession system, this expansion. Absolutely nothing free. No freebies whatsoever. That said, I would not be overly shocked if they look at adding something later down the line. Since without, you know, without profession shuffling, there's going to be a really big disparity in the average crafter. But it's difficult, right? Every time I talk about this, I get slightly frustrated in and of myself because, yes, there's going to be a big disparity between the average crafter and the crafter that has shuffled their professions to optimize and min-max. But that was the design of the system, right? The point is that they designed and implemented concentration with that in mind, right? They knew full well that one of the biggest lessons I think they learned from Dragonflight's crafting system was that if goblins are going to do goblin things, if players are going to progress with this profession system like they inevitably do, and for that progression to feel worthwhile, there has to be some progression to it. But at the very same
Is that your
time,
wallet?
you need to allow players that are not hyper-optimized min-maxing their professions to at least still feel like there's some value in playing with them. In Dragonflight, they got this all wrong in terms of that if you didn't hyper-optimize your professions in Dragonflight, you are not only behind, but your crafting cost for making things yourself was astronomically higher than what it cost to just buy the damn thing off the auction house. So the entry-level experience to professions in Dragonflight a couple of months down the line was horrible. You would start leveling and you would start getting your first 50, 100 knowledge points, and you'd literally look at what you can craft, and you'd be like, it costs me more to make this rank 1 than it costs to buy rank 3 already on the auction house. Why would I do this? And their fix for that is quite clever. Their fix for that is concentration, which allows you to not put all the effort in, have a very, very modest entry-level setup with your professions, but still be able to use them for your own personal use. So it still adds some value to the professions, even if you don't hyper-optimize. Because you can take lower quality materials that will inevitably be cheaper. You can do away with the necessary hyper-optimized knowledge point spec tree. You can do away with having to have farmed thousands of Artisan security over the weeks. You can do away with all of that in favor of just pressing your concentration button. Sure, you can only craft 1 or 2 things, but if you're purely doing it for yourself, it works. You can't industrialize your profession without working hard, but I think that's also something that should be the case. I kind of think that a cleverly designed system should award players who put more effort in and take more risks with the system. Now, if you buy hundreds of thousands of gold worth of materials to power level your professions, you should definitely feel as if you get something out from doing that. There should at least be the opportunity for you to get something out from that. But at the same time, you don't want that very system to then nuke the entire system for everybody else involved, which they've kind of been able to implement with this. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I do think one of the complaints very quickly will be that, well, where the hell do I get my Artisan security from then? And the fingers will be pointed very quickly at, unfortunately, players like myself who are quite publicly shuffling their professions, rotating through them, showcasing what you can do to hyper-optimize your professions. Even though, you know, we weren't the ones that were making Band-Aid fixes 2 hours before the expansion went. This is where it's after this one we can actually pick up the quest to do the delve.
What can I do for you?
Now, by the time I've actually learnt this process properly, I'll have done it on all of my characters. I won't need to again. But maybe learning it properly will allow for. Yeah, awesome. I've not released a video on YouTube in like ages. Far too busy playing. Admittedly, I think I've done about 40 hours of streaming since my last video, so.
Obey the testament of Beryl.
Whoa, 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 hang on. I've just noticed something. Holy burnt beards, tier 1 6 months in advance. Oh man, thank you. That's wild. Thank you, thank you. And HK Ubba 77, thank you very much. the tier 1 as well. I appreciate it. I apologise if I've missed them out. Was too busy on my TED talk. I feel like the current system is a big bait for casuals to mess with the professions early on for no real reason. It is an all or nothing system. This is the downside of it. It's definitely an all or nothing system. You have to do everything and you have to cross the finish line before you get your reward from doing that. Whereas many players would be much, much, much better off doing almost the bare minimum and then using their concentration daily. You know, the old army approach, right? Steady, consistent, log in, press a button once a day, make a thing, job done. And if you do that on a handful of characters that consistently, you still get to press your button 7 times in a week. So by the time reset rolls around again, at least you'll have, you know, 10, 20 potions to post, try and make some gold with. Sure, you're not going to be able to industrialize and sell 200 flasks every day. But in theory, you should still see profit with those small amounts that you're able to sell. Yeah, the phrase mission tables have been thrown around a lot when describing this, and I do kind of agree. Can you explain the sale rate and average daily sold? Is the rate a percentage? Percentage of what? All posted? The average daily sold, if it's 26,700, does that mean that 26,000 sold each day? Sale rate is, yeah, to what percentage? I can't remember the exacts. You can look this up on TSM's website, mind. But let's say it's like 0.34. That means 34% of what is posted, TSM believes actually ended up selling. Now, they do something to try and differentiate between auctions that are cancelled and auctions that are sold. But I don't know how accurate or reliable that is. I still take it as a guesstimation for how much stuff is selling. Same with, you know, the daily sold. I also think the daily sold numbers, it's over a certain time frame. I can't remember exactly. You genuinely, you're best up looking it up on the TSM website if you're looking for exacts. I know it enough to be able to talk about it without reading it, but I, you know, probably can't quote you exact details.
Have I got a deal for you?
Very happy they changed it pre-launch. Kind of glad they didn't shit. There was a couple of suggestions floating around how they could properly squish it, but none of the suggestions I really saw would have actually properly squished it. You know, some people were saying put a cooldown on swapping your professions, for example, and that doesn't squish it. It just slows it down. Because then people would just shuffle their professions on cooldown. And you would still have the, if you shuffle your professions on cooldown, you win, and if you don't, you lose situation again. This is where I think it's kind of slightly problematic for Blizzard to solve overall, because it's so deeply ingrained in the professions. Just disable swapping, problem solved. Well, that's that's equally got problems. That's equally got problems. It's also very, very common practice for people to take gathering professions, for example, whilst they level, in favour of then taking crafting professions at a later date. You can't start arbitrarily turning around and saying, oh yeah, by the way, the professions you've got now are the professions that you're going to have forever. I know you're kidding, but these were also sort of, you know, other suggestions that were put forward. I don't really know exactly how Blizzard would have fixed it. Other than just straight up getting rid of Artisan's acuity. We've already got knowledge points. We've already got knowledge points that in theory should be your limitation and is where your progress comes from. There's not really much need in my mind for having two arguably both currencies that both do the same thing. Why could you not acquire knowledge point? Like, since your knowledge points are tied to your profession, I don't know. It seems odd to have two, what are in essence the same currencies doing the same thing. One of which is hyper-controlled on a profession level basis, and then one that's just like open season. So of course people are going to chase the one that's open season and do things to get more of it.
What now? Nice chat. Now get a move on.
Be careful out there.
Be smelling ya.
But changes of that nature can't come 2 days, 2 hours before the expansion goes live, you know? They're things that need to be thought about, considered, built in from the ground up. They're not easily retro hotfix kind of changes. Link Artisan's acuity to the profession instead of it being shared. Not have it as a currency that is in your bags. Have it as an actual currency. It's... yeah. The issue is, there's practically, I mean, well, now the game's live. Like, there's nothing they can do about it now. The game's live. All this has got to be carefully considered for next time again. But there is a sense of irony of the fact that this profession shuffle thing certainly isn't new. There was definitely a lot of people doing it at the beginning of the Dragonflight as well. The difficulty with it at the beginning of Dragonflight was there was also things like a reputation that was in place to somewhat slow you down. That was kind of part and parcel of why people did the profession shuffle in the first place, was to actually get the Artisan security rep up to the point where you could then actually buy the books. That was partly one of the reasons you were doing the shuffle, was to gain more reputation with the faction. So they had that, you know. So this time around they got rid of the reputation requirement because that was another layer of the puzzle. I don't know. It's a problem though, much like at the beginning of Dragonflight. It will just go away by itself. It will go away by itself. In terms of the fact that for as long as it takes a player that doesn't swap their professions at all, in the time it takes that player to get 2,000-ish Artisan security, the problem's gone, right? The problem disappeared, because by that point, everybody will, at the very least, be on the same playing field. But that could take an estimation. Well, you need 2,000-ish Artisan security per profession, so that's 4,000. You're likely to only get somewhere in the region of 150, maybe 200 Artisan security per week. So what's that? 6 months? 20 weeks? 6 months for the average player without swapping professions to get their tools and their knowledge points done. So the problem will fix itself in 6 months' time, but it's quite safe to also point out that that's maybe 6 months for the problem to be fixed. There must be a door for people who work hard as a reward. You can't put everybody on the same bar. It simply isn't fair. Yeah, see, this is it. I'm a massive advocate for you have to be able to let people who work harder gain better results. And there is an element of this profession shuffle that is very true. Look at the amount of time and effort I've devoted to this week. Look how much gold I've spent on doing this week. That gold hasn't gone in the bin. That gold has gone into the pockets of everybody else that went out and farmed those materials that I didn't have time to go and do. So I've injected... I haven't done the exact numbers, but I've injected probably about 5 million of my gold into the pockets of, you know, those who have gone out and done the farming. So... in a way, I've engaged with the economy in a very strong way. So why shouldn't I then get a reward from doing that? Like if I you know, much like business IRL, if you invest in a company, then why shouldn't you get dividends of the profit out the back? You know, that's just kind of. I'm not sure. It's far too late for me to be thinking about this sort of stuff. Spent about $1 million on professions, up $1 million now. Yeah, I'm at the point where I can start actually doing some serious crafting and start selling things and start making things profit and seeing results from it. I need this first weekly reset to really push myself, you know, to reach that tipping point. I'm still having to, like, basically burn materials and burn gold, shuffling and grinding out the knowledge points and getting the gear in place and stuff. But I sense the... well, my goal with this from the beginning was to try and get all of my professions, all 8 of my professions, to the point where they can guarantee craft whatever market they chose to go in, and to be able to do it by the launch of the raid. Now that's not going to be totally feasible for some of the specs I plan to go in. Things like flasks, for example, that's just not possible. There's not enough knowledge points that you can gain to do that. Some of the smaller markets, I should be able to, which will mean that I can then, you know, I can quickly switch and adjust to if one market is better for another or one market tanks into the floor. I don't feel I've put all my eggs in one basket because I'm doing it on each of the different professions. I only need one to be really good, and it should hopefully cover the cost of all the others. Give me another quest. No, you were just done. Okay, we can go do the delve now. Still no patron orders on US. You should. Have people checked the forums to check there's not like a blue post or something on this? Because there was definitely some shenanigans going on with the patron orders, and I would not be surprised if they've switched them off temporarily until they can fix said shenanigans. We'll either have more info, or it'll be interesting to see when Team EU gets up tomorrow morning and they've had their weekly reset, what the situation is there. Weekly knowledge gain for skinning plus 11. I can't remember in exact details. I've got it all wrote down in my guide, but I write things down. Got a utility slot, but he doesn't have... I unlocked a utility slot on him on another character, but not learned the ability. Oops. Anybody got any intel on Blasphemite pattern drop rates? I got all the crest ones, but 0 Blasphemites. I don't have much intel, but I don't think they're too difficult to come by. I have at least seen the price of them dip quite heavily in the last sort of 24 hours. I was able to pick up one of the patterns off the auction house earlier for only 15k, which didn't seem like a fluke either. So they're probably not super rare.
That's more like it.
Alternatively, there's a strong chance that not a huge amount of people also, maybe not a huge amount of jewel crafters that are buying them, I don't know. Yeah, they're BOE by the way. Don't actually have to farm them yourself.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
I didn't notice earlier, you kind of just probably skip through all this. Sensible with gifted sub, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. What's up with lure drop shooting up in price? Lure drop going up in price.
Nice find.
Ink production could have something to do with it. Knowledge books are now a thing. Everybody's going to be looking at buying quality 1 or cheapest inks to put in a public order, because public orders require the buyer to provide all of the materials. So strong chance that ink sales, especially low quality or cheap inks, are popping right now. Lure drop is a key component in making the apricot inks. That's one theory. Also, people could just, you know, be going absolutely wild, leveling. There could actually be a very large amount of people just straight up leveling Inscription. And I know my leveling guide for Inscription, and I'm probably sure many other people who've done leveling guides came to a similar conclusion, that making apricot inks during leveling, because it uses mycobloom, which is the basic herb, and lure drop is the only non-basic herb. The other ink, shadow ink, uses 2 uncommon herbs, which the assumption by people like me was that, well, the rarer herbs are probably going to cost more. It's not totally true right here, right now. Mycobloom is probably worth more just based on consumption. Thaumaturgy could have something to do with it, yes. Thaumaturgizing lure drop, it turns into something that is worth substantially more. They did do some changes with thaumaturgy by the sounds of things. The kind of like the families, I think, have been changed up a little bit. I'm not sure if anybody's looked at that in too much detail. Bran doesn't do a good job of keeping himself very healed, does he, in here? Hey, welcome in, Golson. How are we doing? Now I can say good morning. We're in the future. Bran, don't stand in the fire. Oh, it's 3:44 AM where you are right now. What time is it for me? Nearly 11 PM. Are you sure? That's not that much difference. Thought there was more difference than that. Well, you know what time it is. Honestly, the amount I've played this video game the last few days, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm completely delirious by now. The other side of Australia, and it's big. Is it? Never know. Thanks for pointing that out. Water's wet, boys and girls. Let me through the door! Oh, more supplies. When did they change? Because the Thaumaturgy is how I've been getting most of my reagents, and I haven't noticed any difference between families. In fact, the difficulty in getting volatile reagents, because they're needed so much to level, has me struggling to get any others, since you can't just skin for them. Somebody was saying that the which one was it? One of the ores was giving one of the other ores, which it wasn't previously. Bismuth was giving Iron Claw all of a sudden, or Iron Claw was giving Bismuth. I don't know which way around. I've not done much Thaumaturgy. In fact, I've not done any Thaumaturgy. Which is poor form, to be honest. I should have done it just purely for nothing else, educational purposes.
There's treasure close by.
Ah. Increase your maximum health until it drops below 66%. Boom.
You got to dodge.
Game actively encourages you to drop your professions and learn everything else every week if you want to stay on the same level as others. Sorry, it's not a working harder, it's an exploit. Make it rep farming, make it running 1,000 delves, make it anything else that's actually playing the game as it was intended instead of unlearning profession. Yeah, I don't like the way that it is right now. I'm certainly not convinced it's an exploit. I mean, exploits usually are something. The nature of exploiting something is usually that you have found something that leads to unintended outcomes. You are able to achieve. You are able to do something that leads to an unintended or unnormal outcome, or something that would not be expected to work in the way that it does. Then choosing to repeatedly do that, often what you consider an exploit. Found something that is quite obviously not meant to do what it does, and you can do it. I unfortunately don't think that's the case with this, mostly because it's exactly how it was designed. If Artisan's acuity was profession locked, but you figured out a way to transfer it between professions, then yes, then that is an exploit. Unfortunately, I can't see swapping your profession, leveling them up, and I don't know. It's more just poor game design in that regards than anything else.
That's more like it.
It's just something that is remarkably difficult for them to fully remove from the game. on the basis that it's so heavily ingrained into the system. Like I said, to fully remove it, it's the kind of thing that you would need to you would need to address foundational level of building that system. You know, your key design points of a new system, it should be in there that this is how the currency works. Porcelain arrowhead, what does this do? Weaken enemies, increasing their chance to critically strike them by 20%. Oh, that works quite well. Alright, we should be kedged up on this dude then. Let's go grab knowledge book. Hunting, not book. I don't think the node that says chance to receive additional ominous transmutagen actually works. I'm never getting more than the 1 to 3 I got normally. One thing I know is that that node was very broken for a long time on the beta. But so were nearly all of the nodes. When they first implemented thaumaturgy, the entire tree said a lot of things and didn't really do any of them, which was quite strange. And this led to a lot of people, myself including, getting a really jaded impression of what thaumaturgy was kind of meant to be. So much so that what we have now in game is almost the exact opposite to what we kind of initially expected it to be. We thought it was predominantly about producing blasphemites, and that you would do and you would go out of your way to make blasphemites significantly effectively. But the more it changed over the weeks, more and more we realised that blasphemites are a byproduct of what it in essence is which is a smart little fashion material shuffle, which might long term have the clever effect of making it so that materials don't get too far out of line with each other in terms of price. I say might because what also needs to happen, they need to then put some element of control over the production and supply of the materials in the first place. Otherwise, players will just farm the thing that they can get the most of in the shortest period of time and then turn it into other things that are worth more. Which will mean farmers will constantly be chasing not like what's the most gold per hour, but what is the most quantity of a material that can then be alchemist into something else. Where the hell am I going here? It's not here, is it? It's the flipping trainers I need. Where's the inscription dude? Oh, he's all the way. What's the inscription fella? I'm not looking for inscription, am I? That's why I can't find it. I'm looking for enchanting. What a donut. I need to go.
Relish.
Arena. Hunting supplies. There we go. There's me book. What have I got in total? I've got 855. Don't know how much I've got across my account. But enough to buy my book.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Progress has been made. We've got some distance done today. I technically still need to do the Kedge farm on a couple more characters. That said, I might now start to actually have enough I can, instead of going out and farming it, just transfer it about. How many more characters do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need at least 2,000. Okay, well I've technically got enough by the looks of things to actually get it by transferring it about rather than the quests. Having more of it will be useful. I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time I'll be flooded with stuff and I won't care in the slightest. As soon as we start doing weekly stuff down in Ashgahet, I'm sure we'll end up with. Right. Back to the capital. The enchanting recipe is worth spending the acuity on. If you're spec'd in that direction, if you're spec'd into being able to make them well, absolutely. It's entirely viable, and actually more than viable, it's entirely smart. Pick a path with something like enchant. I've not spent much time with enchanting yet. So much so I have not chose a spec direction yet. Much like Jewelcrafting for me, I'm kind of leaving enchanting until I kind of know what people want. I sense already way too many people are hyper focused on the weapon enchants. But of course, that's a small sample size. I've not really decided what direction I want to go in, but if I at least keep chipping away at it, get it leveled up, get my Artisan security, when I see what people want, then I can relatively quickly make a decision and be like, right, we're going this way. Boom. Because you could potentially pick up one of the, any of them particularly. The concept really is if you can produce it at quality 3, guaranteed fashion, you give yourself a really good opportunity to mass produce it and sell it to everybody. Your hope is, though, that enough people want it to warrant the price it takes making it. But the expensive ones, even the weapon enchants with stupid, going into the expansion, I was like, 2 refulgent crystals? Yeah, they're easy going to be 20k a piece. But if they don't make any changes to Dark Moon decks, and people can continuously disenchant Dark Moon cards, get crystals, there may not necessarily be much of a shortage of these. I still think something's going to happen with them, though. No way you should be able to have... Because let's not forget, early access was a thing. This is day 1 of the expansion. And we got 50 gold Dark Moon cards. 50 gold. This time, last expansion, if you saw a Dark Moon card for 50 gold, you were sniping it and you were posting it in Discords and on Twitter bragging about it. It's something's a little bit silly about the drop rate of these. But, there could be a little summing happening with the fact that the meta for leveling your characters during early access was hyper farming dungeons, where these things were also dropping like candy for everybody. Secondly, you had 2x4 farmers who have all spec'd Inscription and tailoring and are mass producing these things at outrageous quantity. You've already seen Blizzard nerf a couple of the hyperspawn farms. Now, that's not to say that farmers won't find somewhere new to farm, but it might put a stunt in the supply of these things, maybe. And if this happens every single expansion, by the way, during the first couple of weeks of the expansion being out, materials stack them so high Materials get pushed down in price because they get stacked up and up and up and up and up. And people are doing nothing in their spare time other than open world stuff. They're getting materials. They're spending time farming. The flood. Sure, there's a huge demand for materials because everybody's leveling their professions as well. But this happens every single expansion. You get a couple of weeks where there's huge amounts of materials that pile up, and then everybody stops farming. Everybody stops farming almost overnight, and the supply dips. People start buying them up because they start consuming them. They start converting them into potions, gems, enchants, you know. Everything's knocking about at quality 1 right now, and everything's being put on the auction house for like 1/10 of its crafting cost, and it's just waste, right? It's waste product from leveling their professions. But when the demand starts to kick in,
Let's make
quality 2,
sweet profit
quality 3,
together.
all of these materials that pile up in the first couple of weeks will very quickly disappear, and you kind of see the entire market on its head. It happens every expansion. It's just about timing, really. When it kicks in, you'll start... Because at the moment, there's no shortage of quality 3 materials. Nobody really knows or fully understands the shortage of quality 3 materials, or the shortage of quality 3 consumables, or the shortage of quality 5 crafters for gear out there. Nobody really understands this yet because nobody's buying anything. People are only buying things to level their professions in preparation, and anything that's crafted right now is just scrap, and if you can sell it, great. If not, it goes in the bin. But yeah, the very second the season launches, people dive out of the world. They forget about world content, and nobody doing farming anymore. All of a sudden, everybody is doing their raids. They're doing their Mythic Plus. And then the demand for everything is instantly switched on. And then the next couple of weeks after the season launches, that's when you start to see the prices flip on their head for some things. All of the really cheap quality 2, quality 3 stuff that is piling up at the moment will just get bought out and reset. All of the quality 3 materials will get bought out and reset. And there'll be nobody out there farming them again. There'll be no constant supply of them. This expansion, more so than ever, is going to be... I think there's going to be a much bigger shift between pre-season and post-season prices on things. It's the only reason why I'm even going to be leveling some gathering characters. I will be picking up some herbalist and mining characters and even doing some skinning, because the prices might flip on their head to a point that you be foolish not. But whilst I won't be super concerned about spending 20 hours a week doing Mythic Plus, I can go out there and make 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000 gold an hour. You bet your ass I won't go and farm. I'll go farm if it kills me for the prices. Not feeling the buzz at the moment. Day 1. It may just kill me. Gotta love farming, right? Garishnak with the Prime, thank you very much. Thank you. People stop farming because there's new content like Heroic Week or Mythic Week, unlike now where there's practically nothing to do. Yeah, people are just milling about. You look at any other stream that's like not within the goblin sphere right now. Most people are just, you know, unless you're a race to world first streamer, most people are just milling about. Most people are very casually leveling up a character or two. They're doing some world quests here, there, or everywhere. Most people are chilling. Most people are very casually enjoying the beginning of the expansion. One of the things that people keep busy with is some simple profession leveling, a bit of farming, make a bit of gold, take advantage of some of the high prices, early expansion prices, doing the story, getting their achievements, that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly. Second the season launches, all those people disappear. Woof. It's just empty all of a sudden. The only people left are the goblins, like real dedicated farmers. I shit you not, I've earned about 45 knowledge points on mining drops alone today. I think mining is busted. I keep getting null silver knowledge points. Had about 30 so far. Interesting. Very interesting. Right, this dude though, this character I think is mostly done for now. Getting him, how am I planning on getting this fella to skill 100? In fact, I've got zero objection, other than the price of storm dust being a little bit wild. I haven't really got much objection making some basic weapon enchants actually. Level this dude to 100. I was half expecting getting to skill 100 to be a pain in the ass because crystals were going to be rare as rocking horse, but they're actually not, are they? So enchanting's another one that I could easy in 20 minutes power level to Oh, what am I doing in Ogrimmar? Have I never replaced my Hearthstone? What a donut. Donut balls, you absolute donut. Fix that real quick. Donut balls is also not in the guild. Sort it out. It's downstairs, isn't it, for the new port? Deep Grove roots. Got like 15 of these today. Really? Yeah, are we gonna do? Are we gonna do a 12-hour gathering stream tomorrow? Please no. I don't need that. Was there an enchanting quest today? I only saw one for alchemy. If you're in Team EU hasn't had their weekly stuff switched on yet. Did I hear it right? 12-hour gathering stream. Yeah, it's not happening. Not happening. Oh, enchanting doesn't have a enchanting doesn't have the same as alchemy, by the way. Alchemy has a crafting order quest. Enchanting has a turn-in quest. But enchanting doesn't have a work order quest, if I remember correctly. It's all off the top of my head. Enchanting gains its weekly points by disenchanting. An idea for new add-ons, but I really shouldn't spend my time in China coding add-ons. Wait, you're going to China?
My directive
Fair
is
enough.
to serve you.
Business or pleasure? Same thing in China, innit? I suppose. Right, what do we need to make 25 skill points? So 26 is 13, assuming these 2 points all the way. These are definitely not 2 all the way, are they? These are definitely going to go the wrong colour very quickly. Can't remember the exact break points. You know what? Where's my guide? No excuse for not having enchanting maxed out. You're 75 plus. Buy crystals, craft big inch. Pattern can be gained via the Priory of the Sacred Flame dungeon. The pattern will award way to skip 100. Hour 1. Probably getting that, am I? Big boy one. Little ones, these little ones I don't think get you anywhere near as far. Guys on EU, use your knowledge point book before reset. Yes, you can double dip on your, get 1 extra knowledge point. Deeping. Oh, I also don't have Alternator on.
Peruse my inventory again.
One of you craft sim. No. Everybody in the guild needs books. I'm on the scribe right now. There you go. Get your guild orders in. Where the guild is going to start becoming a lot more useful. Now everybody's actually somewhat needing to put orders in for stuff. Throw out some guild orders. Let's remember, we're all family here. Don't shaft people. Provide the materials. Provide the materials, leave a tip.
I have an extended
Let everybody make a fair wage. Not going to super actively enforce the suggested price list, but people are well known to take the piss then. Who's the weird uncle? All family, so no screwing anybody. Yeah. Keep it in the family, but keep it in your pants. There's always the GM discount. Hey, I paid my fair whack earlier. I had 2 profession tools made and I paid my tips, don't worry. I provided the mats and I paid my tips. Lead from example. I'm not clipping that either. Hustled. Already quality 3 versions of these. I wonder who's selling these. I've got enough for 10 of it. It's just crystals I need, isn't it? Let me just buy a bunch of crystals. Oh. Actually got much gold on me. Handful. The auction house is not very happy, but Auctionator, I don't know how and I don't know why. Auctionator seems to work better than the default auction house, by the way. If you try and search for shit, especially materials, if you try and search for materials using the default auction house, you get that constant prices changed, auction failed bullshit. I've had almost none of that using Auctionator. I don't know how it does anything any differently, but it does enough different for it to kind of work. Oh, I didn't buy any ringing deep ingots. I also don't have any gold. I can't have 11,000 gold on an enchanting character. That's swing.
I have calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Or Warbank. Or Warbank. In absolute annihilated them. Stock it. And we haven't even started. Haven't even started.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
That's it. 11k gold, that's like 2 storm dust. I jumped into Zanzaful's stream earlier to find him like just mass crafting green profession tools and just disenchanting. As fast as he could disenchant them, he was selling storm dust. It was wild. Name of the guild? No refunds. If you're Horde, you can easily search for it and put in a request. If you're Alliance, it's a little bit more difficult. You need to whisper somebody in the guild. But if you're Horde, you should find it. And it's the one that's run by me. Surprise, surprise. I'm on the wrong character for fighting. I'll jump on character in a minute. Why am I still short on these? Oh, I don't actually have as much storm dust as I do. Right, it's fine. Need first time crafts on these, we do. Make variety then. Same cost, don't they? Fuck. On a vellum every time. Kind of waiting for them to go yellow. It's like the rares were only a one-time rep. I suspected they probably would be. I really think that they're deliberately stretching out the rep grind. In terms of it's going to be... It's going to be a stretch getting to 25. Wowhead said it's weekly rep for rares. Don't know how Wowhead would know. This is the thing. I don't know how Wowhead would know. This is the first reset we've had. And confirm it's weekly. Build 3 didn't get any. Maybe it's only the level 80 elite ones. I don't know. Gonna do a 0 to gold cap challenge. 1 character, no help, no cross server. Starting on the official expansion release. Was gonna make a full series about it. But I'm at 1.6 mil now, less than 24 hours. Guess I'll get 1 video out of it. Fair play. Zero to go on cap challenge, 1 character, no help, no cross server. Interesting. 1 character, no help, no cross server. Also, you're open to the potential of profession switching. Oh, for like switch professions to make your own tools and all that sort of stuff. Interesting. Look forward to the video. The gold cap to 0 challenge in seconds. Yeah, I feel like I have. I feel like I have a little bit this week. Ah, here we go. They've gone yellow. Gone yellow at 85. Now, here's the question. Where did I put... Where did I put... Or maybe I can just buy some more.
Prices to be reasonable.
it worth spending an extra 100 gold? For an extra 2,000 gold, it might save me a bunch of mats.
My directive
I've
is
interestingly found a couple of uses whilst leveling professions for the bottle bridge. I never really gave these the time of day much in the beta, because for one, they only work on things that are likely to get a skill point anyway. Which meant that there wasn't many options to begin with. But at 100 gold a piece, when your crafting costs is like, you got 10k of dust or something silly, an extra 100 gold to give you a much better chance of a skill point when these go green in a minute. I'm still willing to risk it when it's back for 100 gold. I'm just going to do it anyway. This basically converts it into almost guaranteed skill point. Eight. 9. 90. Oh, these are gonna stay yellow. Interesting. 1, 2. These are gonna go green at 95, surely. Get some more. What do I need? Storm dust. Always gonna need storm dust the next days. So I have done my enchanting stuff for most of my characters.
My directive is to serve you.
There were 2 experimentations. I got nearly all flasks from the lower experimentation. What's the bigger one for? To steal your Artisan's acuity. I wouldn't use it. Don't need it. Meticulous experimentation is for those that are not looking to particularly level up their profession very fast, but want a cheaper way to do it. It uses only 10 herbs instead of 20, and in theory has a slightly higher chance, but it uses Artisan Security, which is significantly more limited than what your gold should be. You 20 herbs instead of 10. Precious Artisan Security on learning the recipe. Half the reason you want to craft one of everything to get the knowledge points and the Artisan Security from them in the first place. If you've had to spend 5 Artisan Security, unlock it in the... Yeah, you already know. Don't use Meticulous. Right, Storm Dust. Still plenty of it though, mind. 500, that's only 10 enchants. I think I'm going to need 10 more. At least need some more.
My thanks for your patronage.
Unnecessary expense. Stormed. I've just realised. Should I have been doing a shuffle one? Is there ever any difference between these? Never really tested. Oh, it just straight up overrides it as well. Okay. Only 5 minutes now. I swear that was longer. 5-minute buff. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't buy enough crystals. 5. Now it's gone green. 6. 7. 8. Are you going to put me on 99 and screw me over on 1 crystal? Ah, game. Game. Need 1 crystal. Do I buy 1 crystal? I can't buy 1 crystal, do I? If I buy 1 crystal, I'll need 2. If I buy 2, I'll only need 1. It's better to have a spare. If I buy 2, I'll need 4. That's the... Oh, I might need to buy 4. This is where we do this, look. Flipping, for some reason, Auctionator doesn't have any problems buying shit. See? Just works. Just works. $100. 100. Go. Boom. Bottle brilliance, y'all. These were life hack. These were life hack. Green skill ups without bottle brilliance. These were life hack. For while stuff's really expensive. Top tips. Tips. Because the standard UI complains if a price goes up by more than 5%, Auctionator asks you to confirm it even if it's above. See, Auctionator's just like, yeah, just... Okay, well there's another one to level 100 at the very least. That one. Yes. Right. I still need to level engineering. I still need to level leatherworking. I still need tailoring. And I need to finish leveling blacksmithing. Let's log on to the blacksmith time and then be done for the day because I'm cooked. Starting to get the feeling that gathering knowledge points are uncapped. Good old Team NA beta testing for us. I mean, it'd be funny if it wasn't. It'd be funny if it wasn't. It must sort of make some of the preconceptions on prices. It will make those a little bit OP. Nice. Gathering is uncapped. If gathering's got uncapped knowledge points, it pains me to say it, but we are going to have to just grind it out. Because you just gotta. Like, at that point, you just gotta. I'm really hoping it isn't. Press the button once more. Oh, I'm going to ruin my 69 acuity. Okay. Right. Back in 10 hours then, I guess, to press it 5 more times. That'll put me at 93. Yeah, I should get this finished tomorrow. As long as this... Oh no, this goes yellow, doesn't it? Ugh. Okay. Be a chore. Whatever. Put a timer on. It's fine. Right, boys and girls, I'm going to leave it there for today. Today's been... Oh, hang on. Mail. Oh, there's a mailbox. Like they knew about it. Aha! Sold some stuff. Cool. Alright. Well, we'll look at that in a bit more detail tomorrow. Right. I'm leaving it there. I'm going to go get
Is that
me...
your wallet?
Believe it
Are
or
you just
not,
glad to
going to
see
bed
me?
at
Both, I hope.
early night at this point. Thank you all very much for today. Obviously, with the support a creator thing going on, the support has been wild. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Is that your wallet?
Your decision
just
to
glad to
drop
see
your
me?
gifted subs here instead
Both,
of
I
anywhere
hope.
else, I appreciate it. Big Loppy with gifted as well. What a name. What a name. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Probably won't be doing a double stream tomorrow. I can actually already kind of feel my voice complaining a little bit. Spending quite so much time talking. But loads to do. Loads to explore tomorrow. EU gets their first reset and we get the weekly stuff to have a little bit of a look at. And I'm sure there'll be plenty to explore, so back tomorrow. Come say hi on the Discord if you're not already there. We will ramp up the guild, I think, in the next few days as well. So playing on Team EU, we will get you in the guild. You can get some orders, either craft some things for people or have a convenient place to place your orders. Knowing full well that they're probably the best crafters in the EU guild already. Players who should be pushing to guarantee things at the top quality. Hopefully it'll be a good place to get some gear crafted if you need to, or your profession tools or whatever. Join, or at least come say hi. No Refunds is the guild name, and it's ran by Manthe, my character. Find. Discord info has all the stuff about the guild as well, so and we'll try and figure out these bloody things as well tomorrow and get those sorted. Try and put some science behind this. Try and get some clarity. Anyway, I'm rambling. Have yourselves a wonderful night, boys and girls. Thank you all for stopping by, or wonderful day if you're out of the globe. Peace.